Board of Directors will please come to order. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Director Carr is excused as she is away on board business. Director Gokul Gandhi has also asked to be excused. Director Leonard.
Present.
Director O'Halloran.
Here.
Chair Seamson.
Present.
We have 3 committee members present, and that is a quorum.
The Chair will now ask the Secretary to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. The Chair invites any members of the audience who wish to participate to do so and asks that those of you who do not wish to participate remain silent during the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted in person from the Central Services Building. In order to allow as much public access and participation as possible, this meeting is also being broadcast via live stream on the MPS website and on the MPS YouTube stream, the links of which may be found on the MPS website on the broadcast page. Before we begin tonight's meeting, we have a short announcement regarding interpretation services for the Spanish-speaking members of the audience.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a la Junta Escolar de las Escuelas Públicas de Milwaukee. Si desea escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor llame al 312-626-6799. Nuevamente, 312-626-6799. E introduzca el número de reunión 608-130-5362. Nuevamente, el número de reunión es 608-130-5362. Gracias.
Thank you. For each of our items of business, we will hold a discussion and public hearing. We have virtual speakers registered for tonight. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker's slip and bring it to our board clerk, Dr. Mann. When you are called upon to speak, please state your name and spell your last name for the record. For the sake of fairness and to give everyone a chance to speak, the Chair reserves the right to limit the length of time allowed to any one speaker. Written testimony will be accepted for transmittal to the board. Send this testimony to the Office of Board Governance, P.O. Box 2181, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53201-2181, or fax to 414-475-8071, or email it to governance@milwaukee.k12.wi.us. Just as a reminder, Robert's Rules of Order dictates that all comments should be directed to the chair of the committee. Also, any questions or requests, including those from the public, committee members, or the administration, are to be directed toward the chair, who will determine the most efficient way to address them. For the safety of all and to ensure the good order of the meeting, harassment or intimidation tactics of any kind will not be tolerated. Anyone who engages in such harassing or intimidating words or actions will immediately be asked to cease. If such behavior continues, a recess will be called and the offending parties will be removed from the meeting. Anyone ejected from the meeting may continue to listen to the meeting or access the agenda items online. However, the individual will not be allowed to rejoin the meeting. Also, no one other than members of the board, designated staff, and those who have been invited to present or participate in items of business will be allowed on stage before, during, or after meetings of the board and its committees. Finally, for our listening audience, if you wish to access this evening's agenda items and attachments online, you may do so by visiting the meetings, agendas, and minutes page of the MPS website. Now let's begin. Madam Secretary, item 1.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, before we start, we've been able to verify with technology that we do not have any virtual testimony for tonight.
Thank you very much for that update.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a report with possible action on the academic standards. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would the administration please present this item?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Keith Posley, Superintendent of Schools. This evening, we are reporting on academic standards. This report encompasses information pertaining to multiple assessment plans and defines how academic areas that are covered by the Common Core State Standards, the Common Essential Elements, and the Wisconsin Elementary Learning Standards. And these standards and how they are covered, and I have with me this evening Dr. Felicia Sappho, who will walk us through, and after which we'll be more than happy to entertain any questions that you may have. Thank you. Doctor.
Good evening, Chair Simpson, members of the committee. Felicia Sappho, Senior Director, Curriculum and Instruction. Tonight I am bringing to the board the annual presentation of academic standards based on the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. Wisconsin DPI requires that each year academic standards be present. So tonight I will share with you highlights on how MPS is working to fulfill these standards. On September 27, 2012, the Milwaukee Board of School Directors received a report on the Common Core state standards and their alignment to the Comprehensive Literacy Plan and the Comprehensive Mathematics and Science Plan, which was what MPS was using at the time to guide instruction in the classroom and professional development for school-based staff, including administrators. The Common Core essential elements were developed to provide students who have significant intellectual disabilities the opportunity to be involved in and to meet the same challenging expectations that have been established for their non-disabled peers. Ambitious instruction is currently what we are using to fulfill the instructional foundation in the classroom, as well as support the professional development for teachers and administrators. We are providing explicit instruction, monitoring our plans, and assessing classroom data and teacher practices. In 2013, with the release of the Career and Technical Education Standards, MPS set high expectations for our students as they prepared for life after high school, in college, or having a career. These 6 content standards are covered in 3 grade bands, PK5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. And the content areas are agriculture, food and natural resources, business and information technology, family and consumer sciences, health science, marketing, management, and entrepreneurship, technology, and engineering. In 2014, the Wisconsin Model for Early Learning Standards were released for our youngest learners. The standards express the importance of creating student-initiated and teacher-initiated activities that reflect what students need to explore and the new skills they need to know for educational success. In 2017, the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction adopted the Next Generation Science Standards, which identify science and engineering practices that all students should learn from kindergarten through 12th grade. The departments of C&I and College and Career Readiness partner and support our GE labs with STEM lessons. We also have instructional technology, which our students used often during the school closure. Project Lead the Way coupled with math and science that offered our students real-world problems that they could work on as a team to problem solve to create answers. In 2018, the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction adopted standards for social studies. These standards provide a foundation for what students should know and be able to do at the appropriate grade levels. We completed a social studies textbook adoption to ensure our students have high-quality, standards-aligned materials. In 2019, the Department of Public Instruction reaffirmed that the Common Core state standards for world languages were developed to parallel the English language arts and the development of bilingualism and biliteracy. At the May 2021 meeting, the MPS School Board adopted the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction's English Language Development Standards to expand what multilingual learners can do with language. The standards were aligned with the academic content standards to plan for both language and content learning, allowing for the engagement of multilingual students in the learning process. Per the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, all of the academic areas not covered by CCSS and Common Core Essential Elements and WEMOs are covered by Wisconsin academic standards. Art and design education, dance, environmental education, health education, information and technology literacy, music education, and nutrition education. Personal financial literacy, physical education, reading, school counseling, theater education, and world languages. As a result of Act 20, the bill aimed at improving literacy outcomes for children statewide, DPI will be purchasing the assessment that will be used by districts starting in the 2024-25 school year. We will know later in the school year what assessment will be chosen. Until then, MPS will continue to implement our Ambitious Instruction Literacy Plan, which you heard about last month. We are already implementing science-based literacy instruction. Our K-3, K-4 Frog Street curriculum is a research-based curriculum that teaches phonological awareness, letters and sounds, and print concepts in an explicit, systematic way. And with our newly adopted K-5 through 8th grade curriculum, the K-5 to 2nd grade curriculum provides systematic phonics instruction and includes decodable readers. Our small group instruction trainings and coaching show teachers how to provide instruction in phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, and comprehension. Currently, we use the following literacy assessments, which provide teachers with information which provide information about the reading skill levels of their students in kindergarten through 3rd grade. For English, K-4, Head Start 4, and K-5, the Inventory of Early Development 3, IED 3, is a supplemental set of assessments following the Brigance Early Childhood Screener. MPS has identified specific assessments with the IED 3 for use as a reading readiness screener in grades K-4 and K-5 for students who receive instruction in English. The purpose is to provide teachers and parents with consistent and reliable assessment data of a child's knowledge of phonemic awareness and letter sounds. For Spanish, K-4, Head Start 4, and K-5, in the past, we used PALS Español. This year, we will use ISIP, Lectura plus RAN for Spanish. For English and Spanish, grades 1 and 2, STAR and STAR Español, early literacy for grades 1, reading for grade 2. We also have language-specific assessments in French and German. When DPI determines what assessment will be used, we will follow suit. That concludes my report. We are here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you much, Dr. Saffold, for that update. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? I see head shaking no. Do any members of the public wish to make comments?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony on this item.
Well, thank you very much. I guess you're off the hook for some grilling tonight.
I'll take it.
Yeah, thank you very much for that update. Really appreciate it. It just shows the comprehensive work that goes into the instruction that we provide our students each and every day here in Milwaukee Public Schools. So lots to be proud of there. Thank you very much. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is item number 2, which is a report with possible action regarding the ambitious instruction. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would the administration please present this item?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, the item before you on this evening's agenda is regarding Ambitious Instruction Plan, which will focus on explicit instruction, formative practices, and engagement. With me is Dr. Felicia Saffold, Senior Director of Academics, and she will share out on this item. Following her report, we'll be more than happy to entertain any questions that you may have. Dr. Saffold.
Good evening, Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Felicia Saffold, Senior Director of Curriculum and Instruction. I just presented the academic standards. Now I will share with you our goals for ambitious instruction, which is the plan to address the academic standards. I will also share with you how ambitious instruction is closely tied to our strategic plan goals. The 5 priorities for success are for ambitious instruction to increase academic achievement and accountability is the main focus of ambitious instruction, as well as developing our staff. Ambitious instruction continues to focus on formative practices, explicit instruction, and student engagement. During the 21-22 school year, we took a close look at each lever and cross-curricular application. During the 22-23 school year, we took a deeper dive into ambitious instruction and had a focus on the use of district materials, grade-level instruction, and scaffolding. This year, we will continue the work of ambitious instruction by emphasizing collaborative learning across all levers as we work towards the strategic plan goal of 50% of all students meeting proficiency or higher by 2028. Ambitious instruction is the vehicle for achieving the strategic plan goals for student achievement. There are 3 areas of focus that came out of the strategic planning work groups and community feedback sessions. They are students completing rigorous work, students feeling emotionally and physically safe at school, and students experiencing inclusive classrooms. Throughout the Office of Academics, we have aligned our work to unpack these targets for the various content areas and have created intentional plans to train teachers and leaders, monitor implementation in schools, collect data, and measure results. We believe that if we can maintain a focus on student collaboration in the classroom and adult collaboration in professional learning communities, we can get the type of student outcomes that we are looking for this year. We want these 4 critical questions to be the focus of our work with teachers and leaders as we plan instruction, assess student progress, and respond instructionally. What do we want students to learn? How will we know if they learned it? What will we do if they don't learn it? What will we do if they already know it? We will use these 4 questions to plan instruction, assess student progress, and respond instructionally. Through our ambitious instruction plan, we help teachers and leaders focus on instructional goals that will help them to improve their practices. In classrooms, we help teachers focus on rigorous lessons that involve the use of district-adopted supported resources, lessons that involve collaborative experiences, and build students' background knowledge and connect their interest. We will help teachers learn how to use effective, in-the-moment checks for understanding so they focus on learning and understanding. We will show teachers how to conduct effective collaborative structures where the teacher serves as a guide in the facilitation of teaching and learning. We will be working on increasing engagement in classrooms so students want to be in classrooms. We will train teachers on how to utilize various interactive strategies and technology tools designed to elicit whole class participation. Likewise, with leaders, we will use the ambitious instruction framework to support strong instructional leadership in our schools. Through explicit instruction, we will provide leaders with the tools to conduct effective classroom observations, protocols for staff collaboration time, and guidance on how to use instructional guides to ensure rigorous coursework is happening in their buildings. Through formative practices, we will support leaders in creating PLCs to look at student work and to monitor student learning. And finally, through our engagement lens, we will model resources and strategies that leaders should see in their buildings so that they know exactly what they should promote in their buildings, especially in terms of instructional technology that can empower student learning. We are collaborating with our specialized services team and our PBIS team to provide leaders with trainings around PBIS, second step, and restorative practices so that they have expectations to use these strategies to deepen connections every day in order to build healthy classroom environments. Our objective with ambitious instruction is to have a significant impact on student achievement. Throughout the Office of Academics, we have created a clear and concise blueprint that will keep each program area focused and on task. We set measurable goals for every content area and have identified key results that we will be looking for after each professional learning cycle in November, February, and May. We will look at classroom data and teacher practice data and analyze it to determine where coaching support is needed and what adjustments need to be made in instruction to meet our targets. We have several initiatives that have been impactful. For example, with an objective to increase the number of teachers providing small group reading instruction, where teachers differentiate instruction and work on reading skills, we have seen some positive key results on the early literacy STAR assessment. At the end of last year, 2.6% more students were on target from spring 2022 to 2023 in early literacy. Our initiative was intensive PD on small group instruction and an innovative PD model where our teachers practiced reading strategies with a group of MPS students during their training sessions. This hands-on training was invaluable in accelerating reading instruction for many teachers who have never had formal reading training. Similarly, in math, our objective is for students to meet grade level expectations as identified on the counting trajectory for students in 3K through 5K. We began with a small pilot of 23 teachers. After 1 year, key results were shown. 100% of children grew in their counting ability, and 85% reached grade level expectations for counting. Based on this success, this program has grown, and we now have 378 3K to 5K teachers trained in counting collections. Instrumental to our success has been an initiative to restructure coaching assignments to provide intensive coaching and modeling in schools in the most need of improvement. Coaches spend 80% of their time in those schools. The final example that I will share to demonstrate objective key results and initiatives is an intensive focus to increase engagement in our classrooms. Our instructional technology team's objective is that all students use digital tools and platforms to create, share, and communicate content effectively, which is aligned to the creative communicator strand in the Wisconsin Information and Technology Literacy Standards. It's also aligned with our district's ambitious instruction plan in terms of student engagement and formative practices. One tool for creation MPS supports is Book Creator. Last year, through an initiative that involved intentional coaching and professional learning sessions, we can report key results. 2,500 teachers have used Book Creator. Students have created nearly 47,000 books. This August alone, already 1,400 books have been created by students. Using these tools has made a difference in how teachers approach content and how students engage in learning. I share these examples to show that with ambitious instruction, we are moving from what the initiative is to the results that can come from the initiative, and continuously monitoring student progress. As we look forward to a year of impact, we will be intentional in monitoring our plans and assessing both classroom data and teacher practice data. That concludes my presentation, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you again, Dr. Saffold. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Oh, Director Leonard.
Just very well done, very easy to understand. And compared to 2 years ago when I was first seeing us really putting a lot of this together, it looks like we're really getting, on paper, it looks very good. And it's nice to see it in buildings also. As you were talking, I was thinking about some of the places I visited this week, and I did see a lot of that taking place. And that's already in the beginning of the year, so thank you, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really nice to hear this update, and thank you for sharing some of those really specific examples of things that are going on in our schools and in our buildings. So it's much appreciated. Do any members of the public wish to make comments?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony.
Thank you. We look forward to hearing more updates on our ambitious instruction. Thank you very much. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is item number 3, which is a report with possible action on the regional showcase, and that is the Central Region. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Thank you. Would the administration please present this item?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, it gives me great pleasure this evening to introduce our regional showcase featuring a Central Region this month. I have Dr. Carletta Nolan, Regional Superintendent for the Central Region, and Principal Lawson from Clemens Elementary School to present. We look forward to hearing some great things here this evening, so I'm going to turn it over right now to Dr. Nolan, and after Dr. Nolan, we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Dr. Nolan, take it away.
Good evening, Chair Simpson.
Good evening, Chair Simpson, members of the committee. I am Dr. Carletta Noland, and I am beyond elated to serve in the role as Regional Superintendent for the Central Region. In the Central Region, we value collaboration within and among school communities, learning for adults and students, data-driven decision-making, strong family and community connections, and maximizing human and capital resources. Our values are directly aligned and grounded in the 5 priorities for success: increased academic achievement and accountability, improve district and school culture, develop our staff, ensure fiscal responsibility and transparency, and strengthen communication and collaboration. Within the 28 schools of the Central Region, we offer a wide variety of educational options for families, including early childhood, language immersion, Montessori, primary years IB, African American immersion, community schools, and several traditional K-5 and K-8 schools. In the Central Region, we are projected to enroll 7,798 scholars. Of these 7,798 scholars, 5.2% are English language learners, 19.6% are students with disabilities, and 82.9% are economically disadvantaged. The racial makeup of the region is 80.6% African American, 6.3% Hispanic, 5.4% Asian, 4.3% multiple races, 3.1% white, 0.3% American Indian or Alaska Native, and 0.1% Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. This slide represents the designation of each school on the 2021-2022 state report card. The data for the 2022-2023 state report card is embargoed and will not be available until later this fall. We are pleased to have 42% of our schools that are meeting or exceeding expectations, but we are not where we aspire to be and will not stop until all of our schools meet this expectation. With a growth mindset, we view our current reality as a call to action to continue to develop each school within our region. As such, we continue to hold ourselves accountable for leadership and instruction that yields high academic performance for each of our scholars. We have an academic goal that by the spring of 2024, 25% of our third graders across the region will score on or significantly above target on the STAR assessment. In order to realize this goal, we have a robust plan for all of our Central Region schools. This plan, which we have named Central Reads, is anchored in our theory of action that if we ensure that every elementary student in the Central Region who is reading below proficiency receives daily high-quality core reading instruction, in addition to daily intervention support in a safe and restorative environment, and if we systemically invest in the professional growth of teachers, leaders, support staff, and district personnel, then we will accelerate our students' reading proficiency so that all students will exit third grade at or above grade level. This plan, which was developed in collaboration with the Offices of School Administration, Academics, Research and Accountability, and our partners at the DPI and CISA, commenced the latter part of the 22-23 school year, and full implementation has begun for this school year. In order to implement our theory of action, we have detailed this plan to meet the various needs of educators and students. Comprehensive supports include professional development, best practices in pedagogy, collection and monitoring of student reading data at school and district level, job-embedded experiences and coaching, and reflective feedback at all of our focus schools. District leaders and school personnel also have the opportunity to observe and discuss effective teaching. All of the schools who are a part of this plan in the Central Region participate in a cross-regional cohort, meaning that grade levels meet from the different schools represented at one time. These guided supports are available to teachers in K-4 through 5th grade and building leaders in order to ensure high-quality standards-based literacy instruction to all students. The instructional leadership is also a part of the support that we give from the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, and in collaboration with the Central Region Leadership Team, and our collaborative liaison support between DPI and CISA, Dr. Jennifer Hernandez. We also will provide collaboration with the district departments to ensure alignment to district initiatives and the effective use of district resources. Our plan includes our working in PLCs. All of our teachers and leaders have been provided with professional development of what this will look like prior to the start of the school year, so that once school began, we could be off and running. These PLCs will meet before and after school during the school administrative time. They will be virtual K-5 through 5th grade PLCs across all of our schools in this cohort. Our SSTs and special education teachers will also participate. Approximately 2 PLCs will be held each month. As a matter of fact, we've already held 2 of them this month. We will provide schools based on the administrative meeting time, as we already stated, professional development. We have opening week and record day. We already had trainings then. And we had a rotating agenda where we work with our CISA 1 coaches. We are also really excited because we have instituted the science of reading training during these sessions. Our PLC content, we've already had our opening week. It included the Central Reads Review, a 2-year intro to what that looks like, a PLC model for coaching and the PLC model and coaching framework overview, our MPS reading instructional design, our common assessments, classroom environment, anti-bias in CRP learning, and of course the science of reading part 1. Our PLC sessions will be approximately 15 one-hour sessions throughout the school year. Well, enough about the region as a whole. Let's get down to meeting our spotlight school for tonight. This school, which is led by the amazingly dynamic principal, Mr. Gary Lawson, is Clemens Elementary. Clemens Elementary is, of course, in the portfolio of schools in the Central Region and is a hidden gem among all MPS schools. And now I turn it over to, again, this amazingly dynamic principal, Mr. Gary Lawson.
Good evening, Chair Simpson, members of the committee, and Superintendent Dr. Posley. Thank you for allowing me the honor of showcasing our amazing school. As my outstanding and very supportive Regional Superintendent, Dr. Nolan stated, my name is Gary R. Lawson, and I am the proud principal of Samuel Clemens Elementary School. Stay there for me, Dr. Yeah, can you go back to that one for me, the first slide on the state report card? Thank you. As I begin, I want to circle back to this slide right here because I wanted to talk about our state report card briefly, if you don't mind. Since the first year I got to Samuel Clemens, we have been meeting expectations on the state report card. And the year before COVID, we were less than 3 points away from exceeding expectations. Just like our families, community, and much of the world, we are still working as hard as we can to recover from the pandemic. We are confident that we will soon see our state report card scores increasing to exceeding expectations that we were so close to. On this slide, I highlighted our value statement, and the reason that I highlighted our value statement is because I truly believe what you ultimately value drives your work. And so for us, I selected our value statement, which I would like to read at this time. Samuel Clemens School strives for family participation through shared decision-making, collaboration, and volunteerism. We recognize and respect the cultural diversity of all students, their background, and learning style. We are a staff that truly cares about our students. We maximize our teaching and learning time by using integrated literacy with the addition of state-of-the-art technology in all classrooms. When using integrated literacy, we can teach Wisconsin state standards from multiple subjects at once with the focus on close read, complex text, read multiple times for different reasons, such as fluency, vocabulary comprehension, text features, text structure, and the author's purpose. Our staff includes full-time physical education and art teachers, and students participate in weekly music and library classes. We offer before and after school camp where students participate in activities such as tutoring, Boy Scouts, and karate, just to name a few. Our school demographics. For the third Friday, our projected enrollment number was 285 students, but during the first full week of school, we exceeded that projected enrollment number by 26 students. Many families committed that they chose Clemens for their child because of the wonderful things they've heard about their academics, culture, and climate. As you can see, we have about 0.5% English language learners, 25.6% students with disabilities, and 84.8% economically disadvantaged. Student achievement. At first glance, we are aware that we have more growth to make with our students meeting expectations. However, this isn't the whole story. Our goal is to have 100% of our students meeting or exceeding expectations in early literacy, math, and reading. As such, we are really proud of the growth we have made from the fall of 2022 to the spring of 2023 from all of the students who attended our school for a full academic year. Our achievements include that we reduced the number of students who were reading significantly below target by 21%. We increased the number of students on target in reading by 10.3%. We reduced the number of students significantly below target in math by 17.9%. We increased the number of students on target in math by 11.4%, and we increased the number of students on target in early literacy by 13.2%. Points of pride. Since I'm the principal and my job is to brag about my school, I'll take a moment to do that now. 100% of our teachers are fully licensed and highly qualified. Clemens has been fully staffed on day one for the 7 years I have been the principal. Teachers that have been here for numerous years are now teaching former students, children, and grandchildren. We have generations of Clemens Tigers enrolled, and our family nights sometimes feel like a family reunion. We are in year 2 of the Green and Healthy Schoolyard Redevelopment Grant. We are excited to have the conceptual planning completed and are looking forward to the next phase of fundraising. On that note, if you or someone you know is interested in helping us fund a safer and greener playground for our tigers, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. Each grade is required to participate in at least one of the district-sponsored competitions. We have award-winning students in both the Martin Luther King Jr. and Cesar Chavez Writing and Speech Contest, the District Poetry Slam, and the District Spelling Bee, to name a few. Also, since I'm allowed to brag about our students, Samuel Clemens has been known to sweep the top 3 winning spots in district-led competitions. We are proud to partner with Bethel AME Church, Coles, Generac, and the Northwest Side Community Development Corporation. If you walk around and through Clemens, you can see at least one thing these partners have touched. Moving forward, we will continue to love our students first. We are focusing on our students' hierarchy of needs as we've learned from Maslow's pyramid. We start at the bottom with physiological needs, meeting as many student needs as we are able, so that when we get to the top, self-actualization, our students are independent learners who feel fulfilled and are ready to improve our community and beyond. We're focusing on our students and staff's mental health through restorative practices. Each class participates in 2 restorative circles each week, building the trust, sense of belonging, and classroom community in each room. We will continue to focus on and improve the teaching and learning of writing, diving into the basics in each grade. At Samuel Clemens, we believe in the power of yet. We remind our students that just because you can't do something now doesn't mean you never will. You just can't do it yet. Samuel Clemens has an open door policy, which literally means our doors are always open. We would love for you to come and see all the great teaching and learning that goes on each and every day. In closing, again, I would like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. It was truly an honor.
And this concludes the Central Region Showcase for tonight, and we stand ready to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Principal Lawson and Dr. Nolan, and your enthusiasm and pride in your school just shines through. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Do committee members wish to make comments and ask questions?
I wanted to thank you for the presentation. I can see, on the last slide, you had love first, and that shows throughout the presentation. And Dr. Nolan, not just at the school level, but love first for your region as well. And I just wanted to thank you for adding the note about the restorative circles. I know it is not an easy time to be a young person. There's a lot going on in our world, and I know that making time for that as a school community, so it's not just like happening in one classroom, but if that's happening consistently in every classroom, it has such a great impact. And so I just wanted to thank you for the presentation, and I will make some time to come visit you. I should probably visit my own regional schools, my own district first, but I definitely want to come up and visit the school. So thanks.
Thank you. Director Leonard?
So it's exciting. You do make us MPS proud. So I've been watching the numbers going up, and you're doing a really great job. And that's always evidence, clear evidence that whatever you're doing is working. And I think that that's always something we need. I do have to ask you, what do you see as needs from us for any kind of stumbling blocks that you foresee coming for you to even make more progress?
Principal
Chair
Lawson.
Simpson, members of the committee, and members of the committee, to be honest with you, I don't see any stumbling blocks.
Okay.
I really don't. I think that we are given a lot of autonomy to really know what our schools need and to meet the needs of our school. And if I could just take a moment, I won't take much time, but like one of the things that I did 3 years ago is we developed a PD around Brave Space to talk about race. And so we just laid it all on the table for the entire year. And we examined our own biases. Me as the leader, you know, as a young man that came from a home where neither my mother or father graduated from high school, but for me it was like, when you go to school, you're going to sit down, you're going to be quiet, you're going to learn. And it's always going to be your fault. If anything happened, then my mother and father never asked me what the teacher did. They was like, what did you do? And so I came into it with that mentality with my children. You know, like when you walk in that school building, I don't want to hear it. You're going to sit down and you're going to learn. So I had to check my bias and say, you know what, these babies are dealing with a lot of different issues that I didn't have to. And so I had to change my mindset. And so now I had to work on my staff's mindset to change their mindset. And I see us getting there now. And so when we talk about that love first piece, so that's where we're coming from now. But with the restorative practice piece that you spoke about, I was an EBD teacher for 10 years. And so I really, really got into the restorative practice piece. And I just saw how I made such gains because I built that trust with my students. And so it was like my EBD classroom was a model classroom for the district and had all kind of principals and social workers and school psychologists visited my classroom, and people would come in and be like, this is a special ed classroom? I'd be like, yes. But I said, you know, we built that trust. I set the standards, you know, it was going to be about learning. And so I brought that also to my school. And so now we're running with the restorative practice in every classroom. And so, you know, we're smoking, we're doing it. And, you know, I just want, as Dr. Posey always says also, hire the best and get out of the way. You know,
That's right.
you know, I spent 20 years in the military as a leader, and I brought a lot of my leadership skills with me when I came to MPS. And so it's helped me a lot, believing in human nature, letting people know that you truly care about them. It's not about words, it's about action. And when people know that you truly care about them, they'll give you that 110%.
Dr. Leonard, any follow-up?
Thank you. It's more than what I asked for. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much. Do any members of the public wish to make comments?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, congratulations on what's happening in your building, and thank you so much for sharing that energy with us, and to hear you speak about how important that social and emotional piece is. Just really validates a lot of the things that we're trying to do in the district. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is item number 4, which is a report with possible action on the urban school transformation. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Thank you. Quite a little changeover happening here. Will administration please present the item?
Madam Chair and members of the committee, MPS was afforded an opportunity to work with a formative school transformation coach. As such, Dr. Jennifer Hernandez, as well as Executive Director Sue Doyle from CISA 1, under the direction of this Assistant State Superintendent, Dr. Kiana Jones, is working with Milwaukee Public Schools leaders and CSI CSI schools and the Central Region schools to support the growth and transformation of our schools. With me to present on this information is Jennifer Mims-Howell, Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Kiana Jones, Assistant State Superintendent, Dr. Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Director of CISA 1, and Ben Keltner, the Director of Title I and Continuous Improvement from the Department of Public Instruction. I'm really excited about the work that we are doing with DPI as well as CISA 1, working together with coaches, just a number of different things. It's an amazing partnership, and amazing outcomes are coming out of that. Dr. Nolan just talked about that. After the presentation, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. I want to turn you over now to Jennifer Mims-Howell. Jennifer, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Posley. Good evening, Director Simpson, members of the committee. I am Jennifer Mims-Howell, the Chief Academic Officer for Milwaukee Public Schools. In January of this year, the Department of Public Instruction announced that Jennifer Hernandez will be hired by CISA 1 as the Urban Transformation Executive Director to work directly with Milwaukee Public Schools. Dr. Hernandez works monthly with Dr. Posey and administration, making sure that we have strong encouragement and also helps redirect the work that we are doing as we implement systems, processes, and protocols for continuous improvement processes. Dr. Hernandez also makes sure that we are putting our best foot forward when it comes to presenting to the board, as she will tonight, and also presenting to our school leaders as we continue to monitor the work we are doing for the Department of Public Instruction. Working collaboratively with district staff, Dr. Hernandez also, as Dr. Nolan spoke about, trains schools, staff. She also has worked with our school leaders and district administration to make sure the areas of needed growth are addressed. Dr. Hernandez serves as a liaison between the Department of Public Instruction for the improvement under the Every Student Succeeds Act and also identifies district staff as we work with CESA 1. DPI and CESA are committed to collaborating with Milwaukee Public Schools to ensure that all of our students achieve at high levels. Tonight, you will hear from Mr. Ben Kettner, the Director of Title I Continuous Improvement from the Department of Public Instruction. You will also hear from our liaison, Dr. Jennifer Hernandez, the Executive Director of Urban Transformation. We will start tonight's presentation with words from Dr. Kiana Jones, and she serves as the Assistant State Superintendent for the Division of Student and School Success at the Department of Public Instruction for Wisconsin. Dr. Jones.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Simpson and committee members. Dr. Kiana Jones, Assistant State Superintendent for the Division of Student and School Success, the Department of Public Instruction. The purpose of Title I is to provide children significant opportunities to receive a fair, equitable, and high educational opportunity and to close educational achievement gaps. Under the Every Student Succeed Acts, Milwaukee Public Schools has schools identified as needing comprehensive school improvement, which are identified as CSI, and for which DPI has plan approval and monitoring responsibility. The 22-23 school year saw significant progress in systems building for MPS continuous improvement activities under ESSA. Banner Prep, Low Graduation, and Engelberg Elementary have exited their CSI identifications, and we're very proud. Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction committed to cut the academic achievement gap by 50% for all subgroups by 2024, and the Every Student Succeeds plan submitted to and approved by USDE in 2018. What we are doing for this to happen and how it's going is what we will discuss tonight. How are we tracking this goal? To ensure progress and achievement and our commitment to our largest school district, Milwaukee Public Schools, we have developed the Urban School Transformation Program in collaboration with CESA 1, which consists of an Urban School Transformation Executive Director and Specialist. The goals of the program include promote school improvement, change adult practices, enhance systems, refine protocols, and advance educational equity. I would like to take this time to introduce Ben Ketterer, the Department of Public Instruction, Title I and Continuous Improvement Director, and Dr. Jennifer Hernandez, the Urban School Transformation Executive Director, to share specific details about this innovative program.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Chair Taylor, members of the committee, my name is Ben Ketterer. I'm the Director of the Title I Continuous Improvement Team at the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. Thank you for the time this evening. The Urban Schools Transformation Initiative is a support offered to MPS in partnership from DPI's Division of Student and School Success. This is a collaboration between DPI and CESA 1 to support MPS by facilitating the development of innovative practices to implement systems within the district to drive rapid school improvement. In collaboration with the DPI Title I Continuous Improvement Team and the Executive Director of the Urban Schools Transformation Initiative, Dr. Jennifer Hernandez, we support MPS in accessing the tools and resources from both DPI and CESA 1 in alignment to those within MPS to systematize a continuous improvement culture. Since January of 23, we have been working on this initiative and would like to share with you what we have accomplished thus far, along with a vision for future work. Along with Title I-A funding, instructional materials and professional learning grants, CSI and ATSI grants, the Wisconsin Urban Leadership Institute, and training for principals, the Urban Schools Transformation Initiative is an integrated support for MPS from the DPI's Title I department. The Urban Schools Transformation Initiative is specifically focused on building systems for shared leadership, implementing professional learning communities, and practices for developing a positive culture and climate. To expand on this, I will pass to my colleague, Dr. Hernandez, Executive Director of the Urban Schools Transformation Initiative, to speak to the work and how it aligns with MPS's priorities for success.
Oh, sorry about that. No, ooh, sorry. Thank you for, it's an honor to be here with you tonight to explain the great work we've been doing over the last 9 months together. The work of the Urban School Transformation Initiative aligns with the district's strategic plan. As the executive director, I spent my first 90 days learning the cultural history of Milwaukee and its public school district. With the help from central office, DPI, and CISA 1, our director is here tonight, Sue Doyle, I was able to access district-wide data, improvement plans, and the model for continuous improvement to identify what systems are in place and functioning very well. There were also areas where we had improvements, where we could have key entry points to strengthen those structures and systems, and also collect innovative research-based interventions that other districts nationwide that are comparable to MPS have implemented successfully. The Urban School Transformation Initiative is strengthening the communication and collaboration by integrating shared responsibility and accountability in the role and responsibility of everyone in the district. We are supporting the development of building leaders with professional development addressing shared leadership, the facilitation of professional learning communities, and culturally proficient coaching. In the Central Region, Dr. Nolan and her team have established a literacy focus with Central Reads. We are building off of this foundation to include direct instruction on the science of reading to the K-12 teachers and facilitating data-driven conversations regarding student achievement with professional learning communities. We are supporting the improvement of district school culture in our high school region with the implementation of professional learning communities focused on climate and culture. The climate equity liaisons in each building will facilitate PLCs that include our students to engage in data-driven conversations around school culture. So the Principal Leadership Institute. The work of the Urban School Transformation Initiative supports the board resolution R223-009 collaborative shared leadership by providing professional development to building leaders around shared leadership through the medium of professional learning communities and culturally proficient coaching. The district's continuous improvement plan guides the work of the Urban School Transformation Initiative. The implementation of the PLC is the structure that assists our building leaders in supporting the work of the educators to focus on ambitious instruction. This model allows for collaborative lesson planning and teaching of best practice, keeps grade level or content area pedagogies culturally relevant and equitable, support school staff looking and analyzing data for areas of improvement in their practice and identification of students who need more support. And lastly, special education teachers and Title I supports can assist the classroom teacher with interventions for students who are not mastering the skill or content. Unique to Milwaukee Public Schools, the framework we are using to look at data includes both standardized assessments and performance-based assessments to account for the varying types of learning. Classroom teachers, in collaboration with their STs and SPCs, can identify multiple ways to assess students' knowing, allowing for demonstrative assessments as well as paper-pencil. For Central Region, on the left column, identifies all the levels of leadership that is available in a building. Each building is unique, and we want to honor this. Educators teaching grades kindergarten through 5th region-wide will receive direct PD on literacy and the PLC model. CISA 1, in collaboration with Dr. Nolan and the Central Region Leadership Team, has a strategic plan to provide additional professional development to the K through 5 educators in the CSI schools with the science of reading. The experts at CISA 1 will provide this additional learning with MPS to meet the needs of teachers. This flow chart is focusing on our first year of implementation. The hope is to extend this work to each region annually with the completion of district-wide PLCs by 2026. The high school region is focusing on culture and climate within schools. As part of the board resolution for inclusion of student voice, students participating on previous discipline committees will receive professional development with the climate equity liaisons to learn the process and expectations of participation within a PLC. This is really exciting because the students will actually get a role and a responsibility in the PLC. So we're happy to be designing that with Dr. Smith. This flow chart gives us the region's work for the first year. So this vision is to include academic PLCs within the high school region by 2026. At this time, I'm happy to invite any and all questions from the committee.
All right, thank you. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions at this time? Not right now, okay. Yes, Director Leonard?
So when we say, I looked in there, I was reading new learning, so I need some clarification. So this is brand new for MPS or brand new altogether?
Anyone from the team?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, no, this is not brand new work. This is we have ambitious instruction that we have been operating off of for the last 6 years. What we're doing is fine-tuning our work, bringing our work more closely together, and we also have an outside critical friend that can help us with that, to see those holes that we are not being able to pull. There's a few things that is brand new. The brand new piece is the shared leadership model. There was a resolution that came forward. So that shared leadership model, we have started to work through that particular piece. But the climate and culture, the whole piece around reading and those kinds of things were already in place. But we are looking at how we can bring in support. CISA 1 has been able to help us with additional support that way. Also looking with DPI, working with DPI, they've been able to help us to see some things that we are not been able, because when you're doing it every day, you don't see some things. You have some blind spots. They've been able to show us our blind spots and work with us on how we resolve that with looking at different things that are going on around the state, as well as some of our ideas come from the Council of Great City Schools. How do we meld all of that together around success?
Director Leonard, any follow-up?
Just, well, one, I sincerely thank you for that. And I did notice that this is an unbelievable support staff that you're bringing in to help us. I appreciate that. And thank you for explaining that, Dr. Posey. I just wanted to make sure I was catching the nuances, and I guess I am. So thank you.
Questions? Madam Secretary, do any members of the public wish to make comments on this item?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony.
All right. Thank you so much to all of our honored guests who came this evening. It was a very exciting update, and just thank you again for the support that you're offering our district. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and present tonight. So thank you very much. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is item number 5, which is a report with possible action on the MPS Montessori Strategic Plan. This is an informational item, and although it's been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Thank you. Would administration please present this item?
Madam Chair and members of the committee, this evening we are prepared to share with you our first report of the 2023-24 school year regarding the Montessori Strategic Plan. I have with me Abigail Rouse, Coordinator of Montessori Education, to present this report. All right, Abigail, take it away. And also Joe DiCarlo, Principal of Maryland Avenue School, is here with us as well. Abigail.
Good evening, Chair Simpson, members of the board. My name is Abigail Rausch, and I am the Montessori Coordinator. I'm here this evening with Joe DiCarlo, principal of Maryland Avenue Montessori School, to provide the quarterly update on the Montessori strategic plan. We want to begin this presentation by sharing how the Montessori strategic plan embodies the district's 5 priorities for success, especially increase academic achievement and accountability, develop our staff, and strengthen communication and collaboration. The Ambitious Instruction Accelerating Learning Plan is the instructional framework for all schools and classrooms in MPS. We fulfill this expectation through utilizing the Montessori method, which is based on the philosophy that children reach their fullest potential through multi-age interactions in an inquisitive, cooperative, and engaging atmosphere through self-directed activity and hands-on learning using unique materials. In addition, the 10 elements outlined in the district's academic standard of care are embedded in the Montessori philosophy. Tonight, we wanted to update the board on the progress of the Montessori strategic plan. Work that we've completed since our last update includes: we held Montessori Summer School at Fernwood for K-5 through grade 8. We've completed Montessori-specific professional development at the Teachers Institute and the New Educators Institute, providing supports for things like record keeping and new materials rolled out this year. We conducted Montessori administrator professional development on the 3rd phase of our new secondary expectations. And we've established a series of grab and go bins that are set up with the experiments needed for our geography curriculum. These grab and go bins bring together all of the materials teachers need to complete the initial lesson, as well as materials needed for individual student follow-up. Working with the Department of Violence Prevention, we were able to create a crosswalk of Montessori primary lessons with our social emotional curriculum second step. This crosswalk correlates our Tier 1 lessons provided in Montessori primary classrooms and allowed for the creation of 5 new Montessori-inspired lessons to be integrated into our regular curriculum. This allows for all social emotional learning lessons to be presented within the Montessori framework at the primary level. And of course, we celebrated with many of you the first day of school at Maryland Avenue, kicking off our 50th anniversary of Montessori in the Milwaukee Public Schools. For work that is currently happening during the month of September, we continue to hold our monthly Montessori principal meetings, which allows us to collaborate across the district. We are continuing to collaborate with the Department of Communications and Marketing for the planning of our 50th years of Montessori and MPS event. We are working to establish our new model classrooms at Grant Gordon Learning Center and look forward to having the space set up for classes beginning in January. Collaborating with the Department of Research, Assessment, and Data, we are working to establish Montessori-specific supports for Lloyd Barbie as part of the district's Central Reads initiative you've been hearing about tonight. And we are hosting teacher work sessions throughout the year, beginning on September 23rd, for consistency in grading and for the secondary curriculum development.
Chair Seamson, members of the board. Joe DiCarlo, principal of Maryland Avenue Montessori School. We are proud to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Montessori education within Milwaukee Public Schools this year. It's a great kickoff that we had this year and ready to go for our celebration. We'll be hosting a celebration event on February 10th, 2024 from 1 to 4 p.m. at McDowell Montessori School. Attendees will be able to learn more about the Montessori methods and materials, interact with student artistic showcase, engage in key presentations, and participate in enrollment and hiring. Please look for additional information throughout the year as we get closer. With the revision of the Montessori strategic plan last May, we shifted from a scholarship model to a sponsorship model to help cover the cost of teacher credentialing courses. We currently have 14 staff members in Milwaukee Public Schools in the Montessori credentialing, all of whom are currently in their permanent positions at schools. We also have recently engaged in contracts with 2 Montessori teacher credentialing organizations who will bring Montessori, I have to say credentialing a lot, here to MPS. Montessori Training Center Northeast will be providing elementary teacher training here at MPS for up to 20 adult learners. This is for teachers of grades 1 through 6 in the elementary program. This course is a blended format of online and in-person classes. This 18-month program begins in January 2024 and will complete in May of 2025. The Cincinnati Montessori Secondary Teacher Education Program, CMSTEP, will be providing credentialing courses for teachers of grades 7 through 12. This is a replication of the course that we previously completed with them. It's repeating every 5 years. This mostly virtual program has 3 in-person sessions here in MPS. The program begins this January 24 and will complete in September of 2025. We're also hosting monthly information sessions for all MPS employees and those interested in becoming MPS employees who currently hold a bachelor's degree who are interested in becoming Montessori elementary or secondary teachers. And while we continue to recruit new staff, we're also looking to retain the staff that we do have. So for the 23-24 school year, we will again provide Montessori credentialed mentoring coaches for first-year teachers and for teachers of record currently enrolled in the Montessori certification courses. This coaching is arranged by individual teachers or individual schools and is paid for by the Montessori Strategic Plan budget. For our support staff, an Introduction to Montessori Overview course from the National Center for Montessori in the Public Sector was implemented at each school last year and continues this year. In relation to vacancies, there are currently 3 Montessori classroom teacher vacancies, with one of those currently in the hiring process.
Chair Simpson, members of the board, Abigail Rausch, Montessori Coordinator. The Montessori Advisory Committee has a Montessori Strategic Plan timeline for the 2023-2024 school year. We will be conducting our first Montessori Advisory Committee meeting on November 13th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. here at Central Office in room 206-208. Additional information can be found on our webpage at mpsmke.com/Montessori. We will be hosting sponsorship informational meetings about the credentialing programs mentioned earlier, and those will be on October 9th, November 13th, and December 11th. On November 11th, Fernwood Montessori will be hosting the Wisconsin Montessori Association Conference. The public is welcome to attend. There are several presenters from our MPS family at the conference. I will be presenting on our 50th anniversary. Attending and presenting at the conference fulfills strategic plan goals, and that we are continuing to bring awareness of the MPS Montessori brand, as well as hosting a staff recruitment booth for teacher recruitment at the event. After setting up the new model classrooms at Grant Gordon, we'll be holding an open house to showcase the space and to continue to provide information about the Montessori sponsorships and credentialing opportunities. In December, we will be holding an orientation meeting for the 2 teacher credentialing programs, CMSTEP and MTCNE. And lastly, we'll be completing the orders for the spelling textbook adoption alternative purchasing. As you know, Montessori schools were granted a waiver, schools completed inventory, and then made targeted purchases based on that inventory. We would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Director O'Halloran.
I think you did answer the one question I had. It was around staffing and what the vacancies were. So I want to thank you for addressing that. And I know we sometimes hear from, community, like what's next. And so I appreciate these updates. Given our current staffing and the way that we are able to, get more educators credentialed with Montessori, and recognizing that we want to make sure we're implementing with fidelity. We're not just doing it slapdash. What would be your thoughts around the possibility of creating more Montessori programming within MPS? If there are regions that people, sometimes they say, well, we want a Montessori school. But I know that to do so takes a great effort. So I'd love to hear your thoughts around that.
Thank you, Director O'Halloran. Administration.
Thank you, Chair Simpson, Director O'Halloran, Abigail Rausch, Montessori Coordinator. So it is an excellent question. We do have in our Montessori strategic plan a timeline for investigating the possibility of opening an additional Montessori school. that timeline looks to begin in the year of 2027 for what that possibility might look like. For right now, we are still looking at significant vacancies in ensuring that we have all of the teachers fully certified. So we have teachers who are in Montessori credentialing courses right now who are in front of children who have not graduated. So we need to make sure that we have a pipeline of a steady staff. Steady staffing is going to be the biggest issue. The other part of the strategic plan is working on the consistency and the support among all the programs. And so working on some of these things like what the secondary curriculum is looking like, working on second step items for the whole Montessori community. So really working on solidifying all of those aspects really, I think, need to happen while we're building up to this timeline of looking at an expansion.
Any follow-up, Director O'Halloran? No. Yeah, thank you very much for clarifying that. I know that's one of the things that we are always looking at, staffing and growth for that program, because it is something that is so popular and families just love it and it's good for kids. Do members of the public wish to make any comments?
We have no requests for public testimony on this item.
All right, thank you very much for that report, and cannot wait to have that celebration of the long history the Montessori education program has had at MPS. It's one of the many things that make us all MPS proud, so thank you very much. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is item number 6, which is a report with possible action regarding the annual workforce readiness update for the 22-23 school year. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would administration please present this item?
Madam Chair and members of the committee, the Career and Technical Education Department has continued to work to improve and expand students' work readiness and provide work opportunities for students throughout the district. This evening, I have with me Eric Radomski, Manager of Career and Technical Education, to share the annual Workforce Readiness Update for the 2022-23 school year, following which we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Mr. Radomski.
Thank you. Chair Simpson, members of the committee, my name is Eric Radomski, Manager of Career and Technical Education. I'm here tonight to share information about our workforce readiness efforts for the 22-23 school year. Our CTE team worked hard to make our processes more effective and to provide a number of excellent resources for our students, teachers, and employer partners to help students become better prepared for work and to gain more work experiences. We work collaboratively with our M-Cubed partners, MATC and UWM, our employer partners, and our schools to expand the number of students participating in work-based learning, and I'd like to share some of the highlights from last school year with you. At least 2,015 students had some sort of work experience in the 22-23 school year, which includes students who worked in summer of 2022. This number includes the School to Work program, work release, youth apprenticeships, internships, and the 2022 summer employment through the Mayor's Earn and Learn program. Work-based learning participation increased 2.4% over 21-22 after seeing an 85% increase following the all-virtual year of 2020-2021. Last year saw the highest number of students who participated in work-based learning since we began providing this report 6 years ago. While School to Work and work release saw a very slight 3% decline, this was made up for by a 4% increase in the Earn and Learn program, a 5% increase in youth apprenticeships, and an 18% increase in internships. Since the inception of the internship program 6 years ago, internships have grown steadily each year other than the all-virtual 2020-2021 year. All students who successfully complete a youth apprenticeship receive 1 credit per semester, and those who successfully complete internships also receive between 1/4 and 1 credit per semester, depending on the number of hours worked. CTE maintained continual communication with the schools through our main contacts, Career Champions. Career Champions are assistant principals at each of the high schools who lead the school's work-based learning teams. Those teams consist of key members of the school like counselors, parent coordinators, college and career center planning assistants, and transition coordinators who are charged with communicating important information from our CTE team about work readiness resources and work opportunities to students at their schools. We met on a monthly basis with those career champions for the purpose of preparing our students for work and growing the number of youth apprenticeships and internships throughout the district. CTE was approved to hire up to 20 work-based learning specialists who will work directly with the schools to assist students with preparing for work and maintaining their employment. Over the summer, we hired the first 8 work-based learning specialists, and they are working in 12 of our high schools, alongside the college and career center advisors. We will continue to hire individuals so that all of our schools with a college and career center will have a work-based learning specialist. CTE provided many other resources for employers, staff, and students. The Employer Playbook provided our current and potential employers with a comprehensive guide to our work-based learning efforts in the district and how our employer partners can go about providing high-quality work-based learning opportunities for our students. It includes definitions of key terms, a breakdown of district roles and expectations, a list of employer responsibilities, and an overall process for employers to follow, including exemplars from some of our most successful employers on how they have managed their student hiring efforts. A work readiness video provides interested students with information about internships and youth apprenticeships. Students learn how to access the work readiness resources that we provide and how to learn about new work opportunities. CTE used 2 Google Classrooms as the main portal for students to access key information. One of those classrooms is devoted to job readiness for all students, while the other classroom is specific to those seeking a youth apprenticeship. There are a multitude of great videos on these classrooms for students to learn about whatever career cluster they're interested in. In addition, the classrooms contain employment preparation resources like resume assistance, interview tips, and resources for employability skill development. The classrooms contain important information about upcoming job fairs and other employment events that are offered throughout the year. We also provided a work-based learning Google Share Drive for valuable resources for teachers and other MPS staff members. CTE updated our student job board on a regular basis throughout the school year. Students have 24/7 access to this job board through our Google Classrooms. In addition, the link to the board is provided on many of our materials and electronic communications sent to career champions and students. This past school year, CTE ran 2 in-person student job fairs held at UW Milwaukee. The first for juniors was held on March 15th and was attended by 523 students and 61 employers. The second for seniors was held on April 19th and was attended by 416 seniors and 70 employers. This surpassed last year's numbers, both in terms of students and employers. CTE, surpassed 2020-21's numbers. CTE continued its successful collaboration with the Milwaukee Metropolitan Association of Commerce to host career exploration experiences for high school students interested in technology, business finance, and healthcare. CTE participated on the M-Cubed Work-Based Learning Committee with a goal of expanding work opportunities for students across all 3 institutions. We created a student advisory group to provide us with information about the challenges students have in obtaining work to learn how we can better assist them. Together, we hosted a student recognition event for over 100 high school students who completed a work experience, plus at least 4 career pathway courses. And finally, we entered into a contract with a company called District C to provide students with an innovative in-classroom work experience called a teamship. Teachers at 5 schools were trained this summer to work with businesses who will present the current problem or challenge they are experiencing to a classroom of students. Students then work in teams to research the company and problem, receive guidance from industry mentors, and present their solutions back to the company. It's an innovative way for students to gain many of the transferable skills that they'd receive in a traditional internship. The experience has the potential to meet the DPI's definition of a work-based learning experience for inclusion on the school and district state report card. And that concludes my presentation, and I have 2 special guests with me this evening who are here to share their thoughts on work-based learning. And first we have Sierra Lyle, a 2023 graduate of Milwaukee High School of the Arts.
Is it on? Okay. Good evening, Chair Simpson and members of the committee. My name is Sierra Lyle, and I am a 2023 graduate of Milwaukee High School of the Arts. I am a former YA or Youth Apprentice at Educators Credit Union under the leadership of Branch Manager Tina Abuya and Princess Hopegood, who both play a huge part in who I am today. They are responsible for my elevation and communication skills, constantly reiterating ways to sway conversations and build relationships. They always told me that an interaction is not just a transaction, but a chance to get to know each and every member. In the beginning, I could only work drive. That is the term we use for the drive-through at Educators. This was because I lacked the expertise of one-on-one communication. I was virtual for essentially 2.5 years of my high school career, but one day my mentor Valerie Herr encouraged me to go into lobby, coaching me through my shyness. This transaction itself was a disaster, but the experience that I got from it was life-changing. I dropped the transaction twice, my eyes were watery, and my palms were sweating, but I learned that people were understanding of the fact that I was new, encouraging because I was young, and giving me the opportunity to learn because they understand the learning curve of being new. I am now able to hold conversations with people I don't know, bold in my approach, and respectful in my ways of doing so. Once I started interacting more with the core values, honesty, fairness, integrity, respect, and excellence, which were always the content of my character, but was now something I could openly and often express. I can also say that I've learned enough about finance to help me for a lifetime. I'm strongly educated enough to help others save, maintain a credit card, and have an understanding of interest, loans, checks, and investments. I am currently working at an engineering firm, pursuing a degree at Milwaukee Area Technical College in the field of civil engineering. I plan to transfer to UW-Milwaukee to get my bachelor's degree in civil engineering. I have a love for finance, but I want something that challenges me in a different way.
Thank you very much, Sierra. And now I'd like to introduce Emily Romerl, Member Education and Outreach Representative from Educators Credit Union.
Good evening, Chair Seamsman and members of the committee. I help oversee our youth apprenticeship program at Educators Credit Union, and I'm very excited to share a little bit about our experiences with it. Back then, Youth Apprentice started as a co-op with us, which with Educators started in 1974. While we're unsure exactly how it began, supporting educators and education has always been one of our biggest values. It's no surprise that we've continued on for over 45 years. So recruitment. We have incredible partnerships within the schools who connect us to students. We attend career fairs, we host information sessions, we post marketing flyers online throughout nearby schools, alum come back to speak, which is my favorite form of advertisement, and then, of course, word of mouth. When it comes to training our youth apprentices that join on, we offer a standard, comprehensive new employee orientation that all of our staff are required to participate in. It consists of 2 weeks of technical classroom training, an additional 1 to 2 weeks of one-on-one hands-on training alongside a mentor, and then regular check-ins and supplemental training throughout the year. Regarding benefits of staying after a youth apprenticeship experience, we have a high percentage of youth apprentices who express interest in staying on staff after the program completion. Over years, we've formally hired over 60 full-time employees, with many still with us today. Youth apprentice graduates have grown to become integral support staff, branch managers, and currently our VP of Lending is a YA alum. This program has many benefits for hosting youth apprentices. Students are great workers. They're open-minded, eager to learn new skills, and add a vibrancy to their teams. They bring relatability and insider knowledge of younger generations that help us improve our programs and services. Students help us expose young people to our industry. Credit unions can be misunderstood, but YAs help us build that brand awareness organically. Lastly, students enable the chance for us to deepen relationships within schools and with students to fulfill our mission of helping people have financial wellness. At Educators, youth apprentices enrich and move our work forward. We are proud to have the opportunity to support students in their professional journey and grateful for the partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sierra and Emily, and now we'd be happy to take any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much for presenting that. Very nice. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Director O'Halloran?
Thank you for the presentation and thank you for sharing your stories and your experience. I would never have known that you didn't feel confident in your communication skills. This is not necessarily an easy stage to get up on and address the board and everything. So very well done. I do have a question around just increasing the number of opportunities. Are we able to leverage relationships like with the foundation, like some of the business leaders? How can we as a board or the foundation board support you in growing the number of opportunities?
Mr. Radomski?
Director O'Halloran, Chair Simpson, good question. I think in terms of the board, yes, I think advocacy and information is probably the best way to do that. And to, if they are wanting to contact somebody, to connect with me via email or phone call. And we have 3 work-based learning staff in Career and Tech Ed who are devoted to work-based learning. So the 4 of us will connect with whoever you make contact with.
Follow-up, Director O'Halloran? No. Director Leonard?
So very, very good, and you're right, I would not have known that. I know this is really a big thing. It's the second greatest fear is speaking in public, so you've overcome something that's really great. Good for you. My question is, I've been approached just in the last several days by 3 or 4 different counselors, a couple of administrators, asking me a couple of questions. So one is that there's some concern because the work-based learning specialists are doing a great job. They are assisting with the process of actually bringing many more experiences to our students. But they've been telling me that they are financed through the ESSER end of our budget, which is going to come to an end. So now, obviously, they're concerned, and when I heard that, I became concerned. So I'm actually bringing that up to you and wondering if you have a plan, or you want us to come up with a plan, or whatever needs to be done, because I don't want to lose what we've gained in the last 2 years. It's been significant in what I've seen since COVID ended with regards to your department and the program and working with all of these students.
Mr. Radomski?
Director Leonard, Chair Simpson, excellent question. Yes, my intention was to be able to show some positive outcomes from the first several months of their work and to advocate for putting it into the budget for next year. We've recently, just today, had a meeting with grants and looked at some other opportunities that are perfectly in line with this that we'd like to apply for, and we'll continue to seek other grant opportunities to assist with those costs.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, also one of the things that we're doing is, when we find employers that want to be a part of this, to see what portion of that they're picking up. We have a number of individuals that are doing just that. We also have been in conversation with the MPS Foundation around this and just looking at growth, and also, just like Eric shared, looking at other grant opportunities that may be out there to make this happen.
Thank you. Any follow-up, Director
No,
Leonard?
that's great. I know we're doing something, so that's was my only main concern. We'll just keep a status on us, so if you need any help from us anyway, please solicit that help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do any members of the public wish to make comments? Thank you. Thank you to our 2 presenters, well, 3 presenters, but our 2 special guests. And yes, I agree, your public speaking and presence on stage is amazing. And thank you just to Educators Credit Union for working with our students and helping us kind of give them those opportunities. So thank you very much. With that, thank you. And Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Which is a report with possible action on the Comprehensive School Counseling Program. This is an informational item, and although it's been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Thank you very much. Would administration please present this item?
Madam Chair and members of the committee, this evening we are prepared to report out on our Comprehensive School Counseling Program. which covers more than a dozen counseling programs and opportunities for MPS students. I have with me Ophelia King, Manager of Counseling Services, to share out on this item. Along with Ophelia, I see that we have Megan Taglavia, who's with us, one of the counselors, as well as Amy O'Neill, which is one of the counselors. After they have presented to us, we'll be more than happy to entertain any questions that they may have. Ms. King.
Thank you. Good evening, Director Simpson and members of the board. My name is Ophelia King, Manager of School Counseling. I want to first begin by publicly saying thank you to all school counselors for the countless support and service you provide to our students and continue to provide. Your flexibility and tireless efforts are needed now more than ever. You have answered the call. I also want to thank administration and the board for your support of a comprehensive school counseling program. Last year, we implemented a comprehensive school counseling program across all grades, K through 12, and more time was allotted to allow school counselors increased time to navigate other areas of our program, such as small group counseling and responsive services. During the 22-23 school year, a number of activities were provided for students with the goal of improving post-secondary outcomes. I'm going to highlight 3 of the activities, and then I've invited 2 professional school counselors to join me, and they're going to highlight programs at their school as well as throughout the district. So the first thing I want to talk about is our school counseling curriculum. So throughout all of our grades, K-5 through 12th grade, beginning in 2015, MPS implemented a comprehensive school counseling curriculum to help students attain the desired competencies and provide all students with the knowledge, attitude, and skills appropriate for their development level for students in grades K-5 through 12. The curriculum helps to ensure that counseling materials and activities do not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, or disability. The curriculum is housed in our school counseling Google Classroom, and a PDF can be provided upon request. Next, I'm going to talk about our academic and career planning. So each school has developed the ACP team. The team consists of a school counselor as the coordinator, an administrator, and other key stakeholders. The teams conducted a needs assessment in their building, and then they used a district-wide required scope and sequence. Each school then develops an action plan, which they have to submit annually to address the building's needs. And then the academic and career plan is also a part of the school improvement plan. Along with that, one of the major activities that we do each year is in grades 5, 7, 9, and 11, we conduct academic and career planning conferences with the parent and the student. The last item I want to talk about or highlight is last year, for our new counselors, we started our inaugural New School Counselor 414 tour. So now more than ever, we need innovative ways to attract and retain school counselors. Our professional development that was held on September 30th included a bus and a walking tour of locations around our city. The goal was for new school counselors to get to know Milwaukee, see MPS campuses and sites, and be able to share their excitement with their students. Sometimes you just have to experience our great city to understand that the greatness lies within. What we did on the tour, they first started here in MPS with a welcome from our great superintendent, and then we went to City Hall where they talked to Mayor Johnson. Then we went to Milwaukee Public Library to tour the Rare Books Room as well as the Green Roof Room. Then we went to America's Holocaust Museum, Employ Milwaukee, the Deer District's Mecca, the United Community Center, and we ended at Hopkins Lloyd Community School. School counselors during the tour were also paired with veteran counselors so that we can further build their relationship and hear about the great things that are happening in our district. Now, I'm going to turn it over to our amazing professional school counselors. Amy, take it away.
All right, thank you, Ms. King. Good evening, Director Simpson. Good evening, Director Simpson and committee members. My name is Amy O'Neill. I'm a high school counselor at Milwaukee School of Languages. It is my honor to be here tonight to share a little bit about Milwaukee School of Languages Comprehensive School Counseling Program. So thank you for this opportunity. At our school, we operate a multi-tiered, multi-domain system that serves students in grades 6 through 12. And we serve all students, starting from those who may struggle and need a bit more support in areas of academics, behavior, attendance, all the way to our high-achieving students who need opportunities for acceleration. To highlight a little bit about what we do at Milwaukee School of Languages, I'd like to just share stories of two students and who are both very successful in different ways. So first, I would like to share a story of a young man who early on in his career at Milwaukee School of Languages, he experienced numerous struggles. As a middle school student, he was a regular topic of conversation at our Tier 2 and Tier 3 behavior intervention team meetings. Through those meetings, he became a regular participant in our small group check-in, check-out, and peer mentoring programs. And although we saw many improvements in his behavior, unfortunately, he continued to struggle with his academics and behavior into high school. However, through individual planning meetings with the student and his family, we developed a plan together that led the student to the Challenge Academy, which is an alternative live-in military-style program to help students who are at risk. With this plan in place, he was able to graduate a year ahead of his cohort and now works in the community and is considering a career in the military. He has even returned to MSL several times to speak to students who are experiencing similar struggles and encourage them on their path. I am very proud of his growth and accomplishments, due in part to the work we did to support him. The next student I want to tell you about had a little bit of a different experience, but was still impacted by our school counseling program. During her time at MSL, she participated in several pre-college programs, clubs, and extracurricular activities, including UW-Oshkosh's Pulse Medical Program, UWM Talent Search, the Hope Squad, Student Council, Latinos Unidos, and believe it or not, many more. Many of the programs that she participated in were supported by school counselors and or led by school counselors. So she benefited not only from those programs, but also our Tier 1 activities, including our school counseling curriculum, our career series speakers, college tours, and more. We were able to have an impact on her life in many ways, but some big strides we made were, as a middle school student and even into the beginning of her high school career, she had plans to be a doctor. However, through our school counseling lessons, our ongoing ACP activities, and many of her extracurricular experiences, she began to craft a pathway that was true to her interests, passions, and skills. And so now she plans to work in government with a focus on immigration and advocacy. And that very much aligned with her activities as student council president, president of Latinos Unidos, and the National Honor Society. It also matched with her coursework. She thrived in her AP social studies and language courses, and she even had an internship in her senior year with a law firm. So all of her hard work and skills and experience paid off and allowed her to now attend the prestigious Harvard University on a full-ride scholarship. I share these stories not to take credit for these students' successes, but to share my honor in serving as their school counselor and to demonstrate the wide range of work that we do with students. In addition, these stories provide a bit of anecdotal evidence that supports our raw data about the impact of our comprehensive school counseling program through things like our college application week, our scholarship campaigns, and the many activities I've already mentioned. We do all this to make a difference in the lives of our students, and we work tirelessly in support of that, whether they are attending an Ivy League school, a UW, tech, military, or are entering the world of work. School counselors at MSL and throughout the district work tirelessly to prepare and support students for life. Our comprehensive school counseling program at Milwaukee School of Languages enables students to achieve academically, foster their personal and social growth, and facilitates their language and career development. This is all accomplished through partnerships with our parents, our staff, and many community members and programs, all meant to empower students to become successful, productive, bilingual, and lifelong learners in a diverse and changing world. So with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Megan.
Good evening, Chair Seam. Good evening, Chair Simpson and members of the committee. Yep, school counselor and special assignment. Redo, sorry about that. I thought I saw the light. So I'm Megan Talavia, school counselor on special assignment, serving as the Milwaukee Parent Institute coordinator. The M-Cube Milwaukee Parent Institute is a 6-week parent engagement opportunity designed to provide families of children in kindergarten through 12th grade with the knowledge and skills to ensure that their children can reach their full potential. Upon graduation from the Milwaukee Parent Institute, families feel confident navigating the steps that will guarantee their children are prepared to achieve their post-secondary goals. The topics of the Milwaukee Parent Institute include the importance of collaboration between home, school, and community, Common Core state standards in calculating grade point average, understanding standardized tests and test scores, self-esteem and positive discipline, high school graduation and post-secondary enrollment requirements, financial aid, and more. During the 22-23 school year, school counselors and parent coordinators hosted 24 institutes between our individual school sites and district-wide sites. These sessions included elementary, middle, and high schools. They were conducted mostly in English, but we did have Spanish sessions available at the elementary and high school levels. 136 parents met the qualifications for graduation, meaning they attended more than 50% of the sessions. This was a 75% increase from the previous school year. We also piloted our first session for the parents of black male students at Rufus King High School, and for the first time ever, graduates of our sessions were eligible to participate in one of 2 Saturday M-Cubed college tours. 33 parent graduates attended these tours with their children. Parents expressed deep gratitude for the opportunity and want to visit more schools with us. Now I will turn it back to Ms. King if you have any other questions.
Yes, we will now take any questions that you have.
Just didn't know if you had any final words there. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Yep, Director O'Halloran.
Thank you, and I want to thank, our counselor at Cooper who helped us through the high school enrollment process, gave us so much information, reminded us about the enrollment period and how to attend all the open houses and everything. I felt very well prepared, and I just recently went through the ACP conference, the 7th grade one, and learned all about my son's plans to open a soccer store when he's older. And it just was a very positive experience as a parent, and I wanted to convey that. For the Parent Institute, how is that advertised? Because I think I saw one of the signs, I'm a Parent Institute graduate, so I saw that planted in a front yard, I think maybe a year ago, but I wasn't sure. I don't know that I've ever heard about this as a parent, so just how can we help spread the word, because it sounds like a very positive program.
Thank you, Director O'Halloran. We do advertise in a number of ways. I do want to speak to the yard sign as well. When parents complete the program, that's one of the things that they get so they can further promote this wonderful opportunity. So we send flyers to the parents through the school counselor. We also do something that's unique with this program. We hire school counselors, psychologists, and other staff, and we personally call every parent in that grade band that we're sponsoring the Parent Institute for to personally invite them. And we don't just call them one time, we call them a total of 3 or more times. Thank you.
Any follow-up, Director O'Halloran? All right. Director Leonard?
So now you got me thinking. And this may be a type of redundancy, but how many of our parent coordinators, do you work with our parent coordinators with regards to the Parent Institute?
Administration?
Thank you, Director Leonard. Yes, we do. One of the ways that we work with them, they participate as far as a facilitator. We have some parent coordinators who are facilitators. We also have parent coordinators who make the calls for us. But more importantly, the leader of our parent coordinators, he's on our what we call our MQ team.
Okay.
So with the partnership between Milwaukee Area Technical College, UW-Milwaukee, as well as MPS, he's on that team. So as we're planning and developing ideas, he participates with us.
Thank you.
Any follow-up, Director Leonard? No? Okay. Do any members of the public wish to make comments?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Always nice to hear from people who are actually doing that kind of face-to-face work with our students and their families. So thank you very much for coming this evening and sharing your experiences with us. Appreciate it. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, that was the last item on tonight's agenda.
Thank you. There being no further business before the committee, this meeting is adjourned. I hope everyone